Welcome back to Spotted Crypto. Today we're going to be looking at Chainlink. We're going to look at it on multiple time frames across multiple charts. Look at also the altcoin index. What the hell is it and how to read it properly so you know and be better prepared for when the true altcoin season hits. We're going to look at card of the day, quote of the day as well. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and help spread the word. If we get 75 likes, we'll do another video next week. If you're lucky. So let's get right going to it. We'll start on the weekly and then zoom in, right? We'll take a look at the bigger picture. That's what you want to do. You want to get the big picture and then focus on the smaller time frame. So even if you're trading, you want to trade for the long term or the short term, you got to at least get the direction. You got to get the trend, see what it is on the biggest picture, and then zoom in, and then that's when you make your buy or sell. So let's look at where we are. I mean, case in point, we're building a base for the next bull run, right? So we're sideways. Look at all of our moving averages moving sideways. So that is by definition, just you're calm in the markets, right? Not really a great time to think you're going to make 2 or 3x, right? Not altcoin season. Your moving averages are sideways, right? The direction is sideways, right? And that's fine, right? In middle of an early bull run, and after a bear market, that's what coins do. They're building their base for the next move up, and the longer the base, sometimes you can get the bigger moves. Now, when is the bigger move going to happen with Chainlink? Nobody knows, but based on the chart, right, we can look at where our previous high was, right? That would be this one. This would be a potential breakout area around the $9 area. But what is still the bearish part of this chart, even if we do hit this, is our 200 week right here, right? We need to clear that. So that number is around 970. Let's go with 970. Will remain relatively flat until then. So we must clear 970 with Chainlink on the weekly chart. If we close above that, the bull door opens, right? For the big bulls to start creeping through it. We need to do that. That is step one, right? Or I guess you could say step one is here, close a higher high, right? That we haven't closed since August of 2022. That would be step one. Step two, right? Soon after, hopefully, would be a dollar higher at 970, right? So we're looking almost at exact dollar difference here. So if we do one, right, I would say if we get above, $8.70, $9, we're probably knocking on the door in a short term over the next several weeks after that of knocking down the 200 week, right? That is when you need to start paying attention. So those are your biggest levels to be watching on the bigger charts, right? The weekly chart focusing on long term. Until then, right, accumulation, right? This could be, if you're a believer in Chainlink, and I think most of you watching probably are, and you think that, a good value for Chainlink for the future would be $7 or thereabouts, right? $5, $7, $8, $9, anything under 10. If you think that is a good value for Chainlink for the next, for several years from now, for your future self, right? Pretty much a no-brainer, right? I think we all can agree that Chainlink is severely undervalued. So do with that what you will. Let's zoom in to the 5-day. Why the 5-day? Well, we so happen to have a Gaussian channel on the 5-day that is our secret sauce. That's what we want to use. Whenever the Gaussian channel on the 5-day turns green or red, you need to be paying attention, right? So we turned red back, way back, January 2022. So you could argue that, that was nowhere near our price highs, but this was your final warning shot to get out, right? When the 5-day channel turns red, what was that closing price, right? We closed right at 1750. We're like, wow, we went way higher than that. Why would I exit then if I had bought, higher than that? Well, guess what? You closed this candle right when we turned red, that 5-day candle, that closed at 1750, right? So let's take a measured move just from 1750, even though you might have bought higher. What if I told you you could have saved 70% from the lows, right? We went down an additional 70% from that. And even right now, we're still down roughly 60% from when the Gaussian channel on the 5-day turned red. So keep that in mind for your future bear markets going forward. And it works the same for bull markets, only it's a little bit better and an earlier predictor of bigger moves coming, right? So that's what we're waiting on, the 5-day Gaussian channel for any coin, Bitcoin included. Bitcoin's very close to flipping green on the 5-day, and your altcoins. Well, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get into alt season here in just a moment. We're gonna look at the index and when these kind of coins like Chainlink, like whatever your favorite altcoins are, can possibly have their bigger moves, right? And a big step, you need 2 check marks for your 5-day Gaussian channel. You want one, your price action above it, which we're not there yet. What is above it? Coincidentally, it's that, 9/5. Look, I mean, look, you can't even make this up, right? I mean, look at the tops of these candles since August of 2022, and you guessed it, it's right at the top of the 5-day Gaussian channel, right? 950, 970, right? Those numbers sound familiar, right? We just talked about them, right? So if you want to make it clear cut, I mean, it's going to $10. If you see a double-digit Chainlink and the 5-day Gaussian channel is green, it's go time, right? By definition. I mean, let's go look at the last time. And it's been a minute. Let's put it on. There we go, right? So let's look at this. So last time we were red, right? The bear market, right? We flipped back to the green. You had 1 check mark here. Are you buying? Not necessarily, because you couldn't get faked out here. You can go back and revisit the lows. But if you're the frisky, risky type, and you're saying as soon as the channel turns green, I'm buying, well, that's on you, but you still only have 50% of the check marks. You really want to wait till prices come out of it with a closing candle, and then you're just more confident, right? That's all you're doing. You're shifting the odds more bigly into your favor. So this is what we're doing, right? Last time this happened, we're looking at 50-cent Chainlink, right? And then what comes next, right? Bigger, right? The bigger altcoin season, the bigger altcoin runs are likely to happen. And you can go look at this on any coin. The 5-day, that's what you want to be looking at, has the least amount of fake outs. You can use the weekly, but the 5-day is a little bit more tuned, right? So you got the gear shift is a little bit higher pitch, right? So 5-day or weekly is great. If you can get a weekly green turn, even better, right? But 5-day kind of helps you get a little bit of a move up. Now, so now you know about the 5-day Gaussian channel. When's it gonna? It's not gonna turn green until we're above the channel, right? You have to move the channel up to get it to turn green, right? It's facing down, right? And that's when it turns red, right? It's down. How do you get it down? You have to be under the channel, right? So the flip side of that, we're gonna have to flip $10 to turn it green. Right? It might take a couple weeks after that, right? We're probably looking at late summer, right? July, I would say, unless Chainlink gets real frisky really soon, right? But if you want to cut and dry a scenario, $10, right? It's going to have to be above $10 to have a shot at turning green. Okay, so that's where you need to be looking at. You'll have plenty of moves. You'll have plenty of time. But if you don't want to, play around and you want to get in some, better performing alts until Chainlink decides to wake up, that is your number, right? And let's remove the 5-day Gaussian channel because there's something else I want to show you here. The Bollinger Bands, right? The narrowest they have been since 2020, right? We're looking at 2020, since back here, right? Does this look familiar? Does flatline look familiar, right? And this was even the bigger move, right? Look at this move, right? Look how much Chainlink just likes to stay relatively calm until it decides to wake up, right? So that's what we're looking for. We're in the calm, right? If you're a believer in Chainlink and you're a believer that $7 is of good value, or $6 or $8, right? These are the accumulation times. It's not time to accumulate when you're at blow off peaks area. So if you bought too high here, right, this is when you buy, right, in the calm. By definition, if you don't know if you're going to go back to 6, you dollar cost average, right? Or if you're comfortable and looking at long term and you're not the person that looks at their phone 78 times a day, which probably most people are. If you're new, especially, and you're not, if you're just long term, then you're dollar cost averaging either chunks or you're just putting it here. And, looking towards the distance, you're like, I'm comfortable with this price. I'll check it again in, a month from now or 6 months from now. And I'm good for until 2024. I'll think about, you know, where we are, and then, right? You want to be selling dollar cost average on the way up on these multiple greens. This is when you sell, not when you buy. This is the buys, not when you sell, right? So hopefully that makes sense to someone out there. But, you know, getting back to my point, I like to stray a lot, so I go off on tangents. But, you know, the narrow Bollinger Bands are signaling that, you know, less volatility leads to more volatility, right? The more narrow you can get, the sooner that big price action is coming. So being the narrowest that we've been doesn't mean we can't go more narrow, doesn't mean we can't stay narrow for the next several weeks to months, but something is brewing, right? The clouds are not looking so white anymore, if you know what I mean, right? So we're brewing up, we're gearing up for something, maybe in the next couple of months for Chainlink. That's what we're looking at. So let's zoom in a little bit more on the daily chart to look at more sideways. Excuse me. So let's zoom in here. Let's auto adjust all this and see what we got going. The Bollinger Band's not much help right now, real spread apart. But what I want to show you is your 200-day EMA right here in the pink, right? Just like we looked at on the weekly, right? You should always be leaning slightly bearish or, you know, calm, non you know, ready to explode if you're under the 200 EMA on any time frame chart. So are we there yet? No. You know, fortunately on the daily it's a little bit lower, right? 740 versus those you know, 9s on the weekly chart. But you're still calm and no need to panic or FOMO or rush, right? You want to be above your 200 before you start getting any kind of bullish on any coin, no matter what your narrative is, bullish, bearish, whatever. And, you know, this works vice versa too. If you're above the 200 on any time frame, right, you're by definition more bullish, right? And if you're under, you're by definition more bearish, right? But you can see that, you know, looking at the 100 in the blue here, right, we've messed around with that a lot, but not so much on the 200. You can see that's pretty much rejection time. We don't last very long. Now, if you come across the chart like this where you're like, it's not really clear, are we getting rejected on the 200 here or not? Well, you can zoom back out just a little bit and find your perfect kind of level. So the 3-day tends to work a little bit narrow, you know, better in some points in cases. So what do we see here? What do we notice? Only one time, let me take a sip of water, excuse me. Only one time since January 2022 have we closed multiple weeks above the 100 EMA, right? And that was really our first, just our initial kind of a bounce in the bear trend right before our move to the abyss down here, right? So this is our first good sign of life here. We have a close, at least one candle for a first time in a long time, right? A long time, or closing above the 100 EMA, right? So that's step one, right? We've kind of broken at least the seal. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking to close above the bigger moving averages. And, you know, another big step, because we've closed above the 100 on the 3-day, we need to close above the 200 on the 1-day. And that's would be another big move if we can, especially can do it, you know, barring months time span apart, right? Does that make sense? So it was 2 months before we kind of did it again, right? It was 60 days. If we can do it again within, you know, a week or two, right? Then there's things brewing. That's what you need to be watching for to stay one step ahead and to get into the into, you know, whatever chart you're looking at a little bit sooner than others. You have to notice things, subtle things that are happening that haven't happened in a while. So you can see, think of it like a heartbeat, right? You're testing in here. There's one, and then look how much time it took to do it again, right? There's 100 days, and then guess what? And then it was 60 days, right? You noticing that, right? There's 100, there's 60. If it does it again here in the next couple of weeks, right? The heartbeat of the beast is waking up here, right? You're noticing the pattern shortening, and you're doing things on the smaller charts that you haven't done in a long time. Then you zoom out to the 3-day and you start to notice, right? You get these patterns waking up, right? It's testing the bigger moving averages quicker and quicker and quicker, right? It's the beast is awakening, right? The Bollinger Bands tightening, right? The signals are starting to get there. Maybe we got some time, but the signals are starting to come. So hopefully that helps someone out there, portray what I'm trying to get across, whatever that may be. So going one more zoom in to the 4 hour. And, the 4 hour just helps you get a bigger move up on the daily, right? If you're thinking about jumping in a certain coin on the daily's looking good, the weekly's looking good, then you got to zoom into like the 4 hour and really get your, narrow down your focus to when you need to be getting in. So, I mean, each time frame that you zoom in, you still have these moving averages, but the prices seem to be a little bit better, right? So the 21, the 100, the 200, we're right here. But you can see the 100 and 200 getting ready to cross, right? Still on calm mode. We're still calm, right? We can still move back down lower. So the 4 hour, the daily, nothing looks to be too panicky, right? This is when you start to maybe get some FOMO, at least for a short-term swing trade. Maybe that's you. Maybe you like to swing trade. You got to wait for a setup like this. Look at the prices above all your moving averages. They're sorted out least to great. You can be very confident that prices are going higher when you have this kind of setup, when they're really tight and constricted, right? See that? Prices above, right? You're starting to explode, and look at the spacing starting to happen, right? That's a bullish move, right? So if you want to swing trade that, imagine if you got in even like late here on this 4 hour chart and you bought in at 748, something at 750. Right? I mean, look how much you had to go here before you started getting warning signs, right? Your first big warning really happens on these uptrends when you start to break your 21 EMA. So that happened. Even if you bought late and sold late, you could still make a nice swing trade. I mean, look at that. It's still 8%. Even if you did it, pretty rough here, right? A swing trade at 8%. I mean, you can just wipe the table with most people like that. Most people cannot do that. So if you can, just even narrow, be super safe, wait for a setup, be patient, wait for closes, multiple closes above, make sure they're sorted out, right? And then just wait until you get a close below the 21. You're probably not going to do the top, but if you see candles like this going up, you can sometimes get out a little too early. But if you're confident and you're like, I made 10%, I'm out. There you go, right? Then don't worry about if it goes higher, right? Or you just wait for a close below the 21 on any time frame and then hop out, right? It's not going to be the top and absolute bottom and top, but it's going to protect you and you'll still be in profit. Rule number 1, don't lose money, right? All right. So let's get to, for the 4 of you still watching, thank you. Let's get to our altcoin season index. Right, if you don't have this, right, join my Telegram. It's free. I put this in there. I link it. I do a little bit of, some charts in there time to time, something like this. For if you want more content and more help navigating the markets on a daily basis, many more videos. That's what Patreon is for. So I'm happy to help you out there as well. I do multiple updates every day for my group there. We're always on top of things like this. So Bitcoin season, right? We're nowhere near altcoin season. I mean, look, altcoin season is way the hell over here. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth here. If you've never seen this, right? I mean, just add it. It's just free. You can go to blockchaincenter.net. You can see in the background there, just Google like altcoin season index, right? Right there. It'll come up. You'll find it. I'm confident in you. Are altcoins getting ready to explode? No, we said this like for the past couple of weeks that, people screaming for altcoin season. It's not likely, but it's Bitcoin's time right now. You at least need to have your move above this line, right? And this says altcoin season here. I know my picture's covering up. It says Bitcoin season right under here. So you at least need to make an effort to get up in this area right here, right? You got to be above 25. So you can see these numbers here. So pull up your chart here, keep it on tab. And, if you're up in this area, you can get some altcoins moving, even 30, 40 area. So see this right here. What time was this? Well, let's scroll down. Maybe you remember early 2023, January to February, there was some altcoins doing 2 or 3x during this stage, right? From early 2023 till late February, there was some altcoins that did 200 or 300% because of this, right? They can do that. 200 or 300% when you're at a 14 and it's peak Bitcoin season. is not going to happen. Very unlikely. You can get some altcoins that like to fire off randomly like Chinese fireworks, but not going to last usually when Bitcoin season is peaked, and we're at peak. I mean, look at the historical charts here. We're basically at prime Bitcoin season. If you see something like this, then you need to make sure you're starting to get in alts heavy, right? Because the altcoin season is approaching and alts will start to kaboom. I still think we're a good bit of ways away from that. But keep in mind, even if you're at 25, 30, 35, right, look at these numbers right here, right? You can get some alts doing 2 or 3x's seemingly overnight, right? Certainly within a few weeks. But now, no, it's not the time. So if you're waiting for Chainlink, right, wait until that $10 level comes. Wait until you see the altcoin season index at least in mid to upper 20s, 30s, right? And then, right, if the 5-day Gaussian channel's green, Chainlink's above $10, the altcoin season index is above 30. It's like simple jack math right there, right? Duh, get in, right? But until then, right, no simple jack. All right, so what the hell is altcoin season? If you're new, or maybe you're not new and you just don't know, the top 50 coins, right, are tracked right here. These will change, but you see Bitcoin right here? Bitcoin has to be at the end of this line for it to be altcoin season. So you will see Bitcoin, the black one, it's always black because it's the king. It'll start to go this way, right, as alts start to blow up, right? So here you go. Here's the definition of it. I know you can't read it. If 75% of top 50 coins perform better than Bitcoin over the last season, aka 90 days, then it's altcoin season, right? And not included in this list are top 50 anything in the stable coins or asset-backed coins right here, right? So you will see Bitcoin start to file this way when altcoin season is approaching. So let's say that index goes to 30, 40 and starts to go up, right? You'll see Bitcoin on this chart start to move to the right, right? If you see that happening, right, then we're starting to shift gears to altcoin season. So this is what you need to be following and trusting, right? This is it. It's a free damn chart. Why would you not do this, right? So the next time your favorite shitcoiner Moonboy says alt season's right around the corner, go check his ass, right? All right, so or her ass. I mean, there's a couple female crypto analysts, but who watches them? All right, I don't know. All right, I think I'm about wrapped up here. Let's do our quote of the day and card of the day. Quote of the day: there is always one moment in childhood when the door opens and lets the future in. I don't make these up, right? I just, it's April 28th. I have to read it. I'm not really particular fond of that one. It's kind of weird, but talking about kids and futures, whatever. Card of the day, I mean, if you know what this is, I mean, mad props, because I was like, what the hell is that? I did not even know what it is. If you knew what this is, I mean, let me know. I'm going to tell you. It's the Ferrari F60. What? I didn't know that was out. I think it's still a concept, but pretty impressive. None the least. What? This is amazing. I wonder if this is factory. I'm thinking it's still a concept, but look at the rear. I know you can't see it very well because of my damn picture again, always in the way. But Ferrari F60, I don't believe they're for sale, but I didn't even know that thing existed until I found the picture. So car of the day, car of the week, car of the year. Ferrari doesn't look like the F40 or F50 in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not sure what they're doing. But the F60, I don't know if it's in sequential order. It's going to change. Looks pretty good there, though. All right, I'll see you on the next one. If you found any value in this, thumbs up, help spread the word. If we get 75 likes, we'll do much more. We got to know that you like it to keep doing it. For the two of you watching, it's not going to help if you like it. All right, let me know what you want to see next. What do you want to see more of? Do you want to see an indicator on Chainlink? Do you want to see what other your favorite altcoin is going to be? I can do maybe some top coins that I'm looking at that I haven't talked about before. Send me a message. Follow me on Twitter. Join my free Telegram. Join my paid Telegram. A lot more content in there. Try it out.